Hello, this is the Growth League podcast. My name is Caleb Clark, and my mission for this show is pretty simple. It's to learn from marketers on how they're playing the great game of marketing leadership, their ideas, experiences, perspective, wins and losses, and the playbook that they've established over time. Listen, there's more than one way to lead a marketing team and a marketing function. So if you're a VP, a CMO, director, or someone aspiring to fill one of these marketing leadership roles in the future, tune in to learn from some of the best in the business.
It was challenging because suddenly it wasn't just about growth and KPIs and numbers and revenue and all those things. It was about the whole customer journey. And even though it was challenging, it made me, I really believe that it made me a better marketer.
I'm here with my guest, Steven Cohen, the Director of Growth at Topo Designs. Everyone is aware of Topo Designs, but not aware of you, Steven. So looking forward to getting to learn more about how you're playing this game of marketing leadership. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Super excited. Glad to be with you today. And can't wait to dive deeper into marketing and everything else that is related to the podcast.
Awesome. Let's start here. Just give us a bit of a summary of your journey as a marketing leader. How did it start, and what does it look like in terms of your evolution? Anything that comes to mind there?
100%. So as you can hear from my accent, I'm not originally from the United States. I'm actually from Brussels, Belgium. I speak French as my first language. And luckily in my career, early on when I was 21, I'm 36 now. And I happened to bump into this band that became a huge success back home. And they needed help to grow, to develop their craft, and most importantly, to market their music in Europe. And they became a huge success, as I mentioned. I was lucky enough to help out and be part of that journey. And a couple of years later, I actually received an offer to go to a record label in Los Angeles and continue on that journey. And so this is where everything started for me over a decade ago here in the US. I got introduced to the music industry in much more details, how to promote a band, how to start from scratch and build different strategies at an early time where Facebook, Instagram was extremely early on in terms of promotion, and lots of A/B testing, lots of ways for us to explore. And throughout my journey in Los Angeles, which was 4 years, I actually managed over 60 artists, different campaigns, major ones, or even other major artists, as well as other ones that you've never heard of or that your audience has never heard of. But that's where we had the most amount of fun, and we could try a bunch of things. And we really learned so much about what marketing can be in that area. Later on, I moved to Dallas, Texas in 2016, joined an agency that to me was really where I grew as a marketing and as a marketing leader, dealt with tons of different businesses, small, medium, and extra large, like Facebook, Amazon in Caribbean, Texas, and retested so many different things, including the new project back then that was Amazon FBA, so furnished by Amazon, and dealt with so many DTC clients and DTC companies, helped out in, oh my God, I don't know, hundreds of clients, if not more than that. I really understood the intricacies that marketing is not just the brand and the brand awareness, but also all the KPIs that goes with it, all the things that you can make to sell a product, to attract an audience, to grow into that realm. And then later on, decided to take a break because that agency got acquired. And my wife and I got on the road and traveled in our Volkswagen van around 22 states in the United States during the pandemic. And we landed on Colorado. And this is where we have been as, we had the choice. We had 22 states to choose from. And Colorado was the one. And of course, when most people think of Colorado, they think of Topo Designs. And for me, as soon as I saw an opening at this company, I was super excited. Since I've been here for nearly a year now, I've met some amazing people in this company. I've really grown my craft into understanding the full spectrum, not just from an agency perspective, where certain aspects of your marketing strategies are kind of hidden because you are only tasked with certain aspect of that strategy. Here, I deal with different stakeholders from the product design to the returns to the branding and the branding campaigns, as well as the customer support, the budgeting, all the KPIs that goes around all those aspects of the marketing strategy. And so yeah, so today here we are, and it's quite the journey, and I'm super excited, super happy. Always have been in good hands throughout my career as a marketing leader, and yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome. What a cool origination story within your mandate today and the role where you rattled off some of the different areas of focus. What has come very easily and naturally to you as compared to, on the other hand, what has been, really difficult in terms of wearing that hat and playing this role? What came easiest and why, and what's the most difficult?
Yeah, what came easy, I would say that as a marketer, you kind of fall into it. It's something, when you're back in your bachelor years as a young student at university, you have to pick a route. It's extremely difficult, but at an early age, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I saw social media, I saw website SEOs, content marketing. I was like, this is my realm. It's connected with sales, so we do a lot of that aspect too. But to me, that was really the core of my focus. Was I understood very quickly that this is what I wanted to do. Later on, with of course digital marketing, an array of KPIs came to it. Now suddenly we could measure everything that we were doing to to the largest extent possible. It was no longer the marketing, from back in the days of catalog and hey, how many catalog did we sold, and did people turn the right page, and there wasn't really much measuring behind it. Well, today that's what it's so fascinating, and we are of course in a time where it's getting tougher and tougher because of privacy and compliance laws. However, I still really enjoy just looking at the data. So that would be for the positive of my work and where I get excited. The most challenging part from my aspect is really people a lot of time, like, and marketers more than anything, we really focus on top to middle and sometimes even bottom of the funnel to make that conversion. So you have this brand awareness, you have those campaigns, those ads, you're trying to attract as many eyeballs to click, scroll, but on top of that, convert. And a lot of time we don't see actually what happens after that. We are kind of in this silo. We just bring as many people to our funnel, and it's quite fascinating to see. And that's, I would say, for the past 12 years, this is what I've done. But coming at Topo Designs, what I've learned, it's really that aspect of, wow, there is an array of things that are happening all around us because you're dealing with so many stakeholders, so many employees that have tasks that are as important as yours, but on so many different levels. As I was saying, that it is customer support, someone receiving a package late, someone receiving an order that's, hey, the color online didn't match really what they wanted. The product team trying to understand how many items did we sold, what should we be focusing on. This to me was kind of a new aspect of my role. And at first it was challenging because suddenly it wasn't just about growth and KPIs and numbers and revenue and all those things. It was about the whole customer journey. And even though it was challenging, I really believe that it made me a better marketer because it wasn't just about, hey, how much shirt can I sell? How much a backpack can I sell? Right. It was, is that the right product to design? Right. Is that the right color that our audience is going to react to? And can we sell not just 100 or a few hundreds, but tens of thousands of units across the nation? And do we have enough data to really sit down, put all of our logistics together, all of our financial numbers together, and make the conscious decision to actually go with that plan. And this is something that to me was extremely challenging at the beginning. And of course, I've built countless dashboards, grew my expertise into my marketing field in terms of Shopify, in terms of different apps and different add-ons to really like pinpoint all those data points and then share it with my team across so many different departments. And so that's where I feel like, as always, and I feel that's very common with marketers. You look for all those challenges. You of course they look quite daunting at first, and then you turn those challenges into strength and positive. So I've learned a ton. It's been quite the journey in 1 year. It's been fascinating, and Topo Design has really been for me this great brand with a great brand identity, with a great customer behind it that enables us to build this journey and to make sure that everybody around it and everybody along the way actually gets the best and the best quality that they can purchase.
From that journey of coming into a brand new scenario that's a little bit different than some of the channel side, individual contributing activities in previous workplaces, but opened your eyes to this more holistic customer value journey and how all the pieces fit together. What's one or two things that you've learned about yourself personally that you were a bit surprised?
That's a really good question. And one thing that I've learned from all those experiences and of course in the most recent years with Topo Design is that one, in an agency, everything goes very fast. Everything has to be done yesterday. Your customers, your clients are your top priorities. Doesn't matter what they want. It might be 10 p.m. You got to get it done. Here we look at problems from a much better perspective, where we actually take the time to think about it. The client and the consumer is much more patient than at an agency where you're just getting paid. Here, the client and the customer, it's quite fascinating because they are with you in this journey. Like you buy a piece of clothes, and you want to know what's the next season going to look like. Is the branding still on track with what you feel the branding should be? And those are things that with me resonated because it made me a better professional, made me a better person at home. It enabled me to understand that, hey, not everything has to happen tomorrow. Not everything has to be a huge priority. Take the time. This is a 15-year-old brand that is completely anchored into Colorado. And yes, you have that freedom to actually talk to your coworkers and spend the time and look at the data and come back to your team members, to your CEOs, to your direct reports, and really look for all this, to finding the right equation to make sure that we answer and fulfill their need in the best way possible.
Right.
And so to me, it really brought me a whole, especially imagine coming from Los Angeles, marketing at that speed, which is like, kind of New York type of, hey, everything has to happen right away and this and that. Yeah. To me, that really made me a better person of understanding that it's okay. You have the time, you can breathe, don't rush into it. Of course, get the job done, but you have enough patience nowadays to actually look at all this and come back to it. So to me, that's the main key point is maybe maturing, growing, and being more patient as an individual and not just rushing and running constantly for just to find an answer that perhaps is the wrong one.
That realization that you described, are you comfortable then allowing those types of things to happen, that pace, that thoughtfulness in a client? I don't know if you work with agencies currently or contractors, but do you give permission for that type of work behavior to happen, or do you demand the old agency setup that you were used to? I'm interested about that.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Now that I'm on the other side of the fence, it is quite fascinating because I do see sometimes like the agency freak out. So they're like, hey, Steven need this or Steven wants this, and they come back right away. Sometimes I'm like, hey guys, what I've asked you need to take a week. Yeah. And you just answered within one email 2 minutes later.
Right. How does that make you feel? Because that they couldn't have thought about it.
It makes me feel great. I'm very grateful for all leaders here that have also taught me. I've been here for a year. I've learned a lot from them, that it is that it is our co-founder, Jed and Mark, that it is our CEO, Matt. Like it's, you come into a company's culture. I think that's something that a lot of people forget nowadays. Is that especially for companies like this, it's not just I come in, I barge in, I'm gonna change everything. And I think that's perhaps what happened at first here. And they were patient with me as well to understand that, hey, he comes from this background. He comes from this everything's got to go right away.
Yeah.
And through their leadership and through their patience, I learned to become more like them, to understand that things take time. And so nowadays, when I do see, and we work with like countless of vendors and of course agencies that helps us with various different tasks within ecom and our business. And I tell them, I said, hey, this is Topo Designs. We're a marquee brand. We can take a bit of time. Yes, we're not a Nike or we're not like one of those major brand,
Yeah.
but we actually care so much about our customers that we have to take our time. We have to make sure that this is the right move. And that again is something that I've learned countless amount of times. And I do see, I mean, I can't tell you that, most of the agencies I work with are extremely happy with our partnerships. And I do feel that it's because we might be that one client that give them that freedom to actually take the time. Don't worry, Steven wants this thing done, but he wants it done right. And right means he wants our customer to actually receive the best service, the best brand, the best ads, the best, everything has to be as great as it can be. And
That's
so
right.
I feel like that's what it's really come to. It's
That's
understanding that you're really building this huge company, not just this little tiny store online that will
right.
disappear in 2 years.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. What have you learned, or how has the journey gone in terms of building and managing team and empowering team members internally? What is your playbook on that, and what have you learned along the way since starting at Topo?
Yeah. So again, at agencies, the tenure might be, a year or 2 year. You know that there is a huge turnover, that the people that you work with today might be gone tomorrow, and nothing to do with leadership. Or I strongly believe that a lot of time people are just looking at their own calendar and their own agenda, and hey, another agency gave me a better offer or a better job, and I will be doing this over there. So at the end of the day, at an agency, you're just answering clients' calls and making sure that everything that they want is served in the best way possible, and you're charging a management fee for that. Over here, the tenure is much longer. I have someone in my team as a direct report who's been here for 8 years, and this is something that where I come from, this is an anomaly. Maybe the CEO will be here for 8 years if the company is 8 years long, but a lot of time nobody stays for that long. And at Topo Designs, you have this aspect that people tend to stay longer. They join, and I know a lot of companies say that we're family and things like that. But here, it really does feel like that because people are here. Like our controller has been here for 9 years. You have people that are, and they're amazing people. Like the employees, the team, the culture that we have. It's fascinating because a lot of time, you can come to a company and you see different characters and you're like, oh, I don't really get along with this one, or this one doesn't talk to me, but here it's not at all like that. Like there is a strong volunteer program. There is always quarterly meetings, kind of an open book policy where every employee understands what the company vision is. And so of course it builds this relationship that helps put this whole company together. And so when I joined and I started managing people who had been here for way longer than I had, who had seen, oh, here's another manager, here's another Steven who's coming to manage me. And what is this guy going to talk to me about? I really took that to heart to make sure that, hey, I really want to show that I'm going to be your best manager. And how can I do that? What were the mistakes that the other ones did? What are the things that you are looking for? What are the things that you were missing in your career? And I know, I'm thinking of John, who was that example that I gave, who has been here for 8 years. He told me very early on, he was like, I've never had a manager like you. And I hope it was, of course, he's
I mean,
still with
good.
us. This was a positive feedback, but it was the first time for him that he was involved in KPIs, that he was involved in revenue numbers, that he was involved in many things that normally perhaps were hidden from him. And what I always told him is, hey, I'm not a manager that comes to you with, hey, this is my vision, and your job is to apply it. I come to all my team members, and I tell them, you have to come with the initiatives. You are the expert in your field. I'm not a front end developer. You tell me what we should be doing. And and right away you can see that switch in their perspective, that it wasn't anymore you do this, you do that, you do that. It was, I'm waiting for you to tell me what we are supposed to do. You've been here for 8 years. You know this company better than anybody else. And I'm proud to say that, yes, my team, the new hires that I've brought to my team, yeah, the partnerships has been great. We've been able to really focus on core tasks that Topo needed. We've been able to increase the gross revenue as well as the net revenue, increase the amount of customers by a significant amount. And I'm really happy to tell them, and I'm super grateful if they do listen to this podcast, of my team, because that's is the one, I would say, like when you come to a new company as a marketing leader, or as any leader per se, you want to change things. You come
Right.
with your vision.
Right.
And this is the first time that my team has been, yeah, I could have dreamed for that team. And some way, somehow, this is the right people at the right time, in the right spot, to do the best job possible. And I'm very grateful for their knowledge, for their expertise, and for letting me lead them. But also understanding that they've been here for way longer than I have. They've seen the product, the audience, the targeting, demographic change 100 times, and this company grows. And they started with one store, and now they have what, close to 15.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to tell them I know everything and you don't know anything. So the approach had to be different, and it's been great. So I'm being very, very thankful for all their help.
When you got there, help me understand, was it just random or lucky that you showed up as a leader in that way? Or was there something that, was set as an intention before you started? It's like, hey, based on something I learned before, I'm going to show up this way. Or was it something that you felt as soon as you got to Topo and was like, I have a responsibility to keep alive what I can feel here? And I'm not sure what it is, but yeah.
So when it comes to the situation, and when I arrived, like many company, a lot of people expected 2023 to be a great year.
Right.
So they bought a lot of inventory and expecting this massive growth. And 2023 was a very tough year for a lot of DTC brands, as you can see in the news. A lot of companies went on sale. A lot of companies, I think it was Lululemon, who did this sale called "We Bought Too Much." So all those things came into places. And of course, as a director of growth and responsible for ecom, as well as a very, very strong connection with the brand department, yes, I had a responsibility to make sure that we can move inventory, get back to a healthier position, increase, of course, our gross margin, as well as reduce our customer acquisition cost, increase our conversion rates, and overall bring Topo to a higher level than it was prior of my arrival.
The way you showed up as a leader, in terms of like exposing people to information that they wouldn't otherwise, like all information, giving them the raw material and then the freedom to leverage their expertise to do something with that insight. Was that an intentional move by you as soon as you came in, or was it something that kind of just fluke?
Every month we would look at it, sometimes every week. We would understand right away what works, what doesn't, what inventory is moving, what it's not, what are we getting in terms of returns, what do we need to implement. So last year we did implement final sale as a part of our flash sales marketing campaigns that we were doing. And we saw that, again, we managed to reduce from a 20% to a 2% return rate. And all those things, again, were aspects that I told my team. This is not Steven patting himself on the back and saying, wow, what a great leader you are. To me, it's always, we succeed together, we fail together. But it's important that they understood that every aspect of their work, as simple as changing a banner at the top of the website to showcase a promo code that perhaps we didn't push before, understanding the full spectrum of all the touch points from our email marketing campaigns or SMS campaigns, as well as tracking actively our inventory, and not just having data for the sake of having data, but looking at it and understanding, like, to the product team, this product, we don't make enough gross margin, or it sits for too long in a warehouse. Don't make those anymore. Like, so all those aspects were great because I was really able to share that. And again, at any company, sometimes you don't have the time to do all this. It takes too much time, or you get into this rhythm where, well, I'm opening Shopify and Shopify only show me this or that. So here it was really this aspect for me that it was crucial to share all of those data points with my team and with other stakeholders that understood all this, and make them understand, more importantly, that they played an impact in that success. And that was my take.
And what I heard, I think what's really worth repeating, and your story illustrates this so clearly, is that I believe that marketing systems fail when the players involved are accountable to activities and not accountable to a business outcome. But how do you become accountable to a business outcome if the information isn't democratized across the group? And then furthermore to that, how can you be accountable to an outcome when the info is democratized, but you're not empowered to be the expert and do with that data what you would do? I think that you've created the perfect balance of accountability to the things that matter most and a freedom, instilled in the team to take the path that you want to take to get there, but let's stay oriented to what the North Star is, right? And just people are empowered by way more than just a paycheck, right? They want to have some purpose and line of sight on how their day-to-day is impacting something that matters. And I think you've expressed very clearly how you've seen your job as a leader is to make this infrastructure in place so that the game can be played, right?
Totally. And I feel like companies like Topo Designs fully embrace what you just said, and enables you as a leader to share that information, to empower your direct reports, to make sure that they understand what success they can bring to the business. And again, those quarterly meetings that our CEO have with the entire team, including the retail store, it's a huge endeavor to get everybody connected at the same time for him to tell us what's happening with the business. It's something that, yes, really showcase like that a brand like Topo Design is way much more than just an agency that change clients every year, or doesn't, oh yes, we'll do Facebook one day, we'll do restaurants the other, we'll do plumbing the next day. Like, we'll just do advertising. All in all, here the core of the business is so well put together that anybody can understand it. And the beauty, to your point with the democratization of data, is that it's available, and it's readily available for anyone to understand that we are making an impact on a daily basis.
That's awesome. Well, that was helpful for me. I learned a lot in that, and I think that I'd love to see the culture there and kind of get an example of what that looks like. Leave us with this. I mean, we could talk for an hour, but leave us with this. I represent the agency side, of course. Now, you having seen both sides and contributed meaningfully on both sides, how do you think agencies can improve to become more aligned with all of these things that you talked about in terms of that internal culture? Like, how can agencies be better for their clients from your perspective?
From what I've learned at Topo Designs and from where I come from in terms of background, is that agencies tend to work as a sprint. It's just, hey, we're getting a new client, we're signing it on the first. We've worked so hard to get this deal. Let's just sprint as fast as we can and make sure that in a month, in 3 months, in 6 months, or in 12 months, that client renew with us.
Right.
The understanding behind the business, a lot of time, based on my experience again, sometimes it doesn't really matter. It's just, oh, here we're going to sell this now. And in my prior life, yes, I sold heating seat subscription on a BMW. I've sold cat food on different websites. I've sold anything. It was just, hey, we have this director of marketing or this VP of marketing. We need to use this time. And those are the clients that our sales team is getting.
Right.
So you're not really fully passionate or fully understanding. And I do feel that a lot of agencies claim that, hey, we want to be a partner with you. We want to be this team that works with you. And yet agencies are having such a hard time keeping the clients, which kind of tells you that something in the equation is not working properly.
Right.
Something in the equation is not fully getting where they need to be. And I've had the chance here at Topo to actually kind of teach this to agencies that, hey, I'm not looking for this quick fix. Topo Design is not in a position where we need, tomorrow 10,000 new clients, or we need 1 million. No, we have this launchpad that we can wait and grow so we can acquire the right clients who understand the brand that is behind the product that we're selling. And it doesn't always work. Certain agencies, we had to let go because they couldn't understand that, yes, it's not just about pushing. It's not just about, oh, we're going to get you a couple of coupon codes and growth will just exhume for it because it doesn't matter. No, it's way much more than that. And the agencies that we're still working with to this day, and that now we're growing and developing those contact with, have understood that priority, that the client matters the most. If business, if we make a little bit less of gross margin, if we make a little bit less of sales, if we're not hitting, or if our customer acquisition cost grows a bit higher, it's not that bad, because actually, and this is to give you a quick example, we are the 5th of March. We just launched spring collection. So we are at full price. And because we're pushing this new product that we have worked ourselves for years now. Like this is something that we've had in the pipeline for quite some time. And here we come with a brand new product. And it was so vital for the agency to understand that we are not looking to just sell and sell and sell and have this thing just spread around. And yes, like many companies, like right now, Lacoste is giving a 25% discount on the new collection. How is this possible? So here we were telling them, no, what we want is the right customer, the right audience, and we're willing to pay for it. So our customer acquisition costs actually went up, but funny enough, our average order value went up by over 100%, meaning that by finding the right customers, yes, we're paying a bit more for it. But by finding the right customer, that customer is willing to pay way more for that product, because he's going to bundle up with a bag, with a suitcase, with a couple of jackets, or he's looking to actually be that partner with that brand.
Right.
And that to me is so much more valuable. And I need more and more agencies to understand that a lot of brands right now, especially in the e-com business, are looking for this long-term partnership. Shopify is now selling 3-year partnerships with clients to stay at the same price, which means that you have to stick with them for 3 years. So it's no longer the time to just look at a quick fix. How can we do a quick promotion to get a bunch of clients and finish the month higher with a higher gross margin or a higher gross revenue, but a terrible net margin. All those things need to be taken into account. And I feel like some agencies get it, lots of them don't. And as well as I do that, yes, it's very tough to keep a client. And I think if you're able to showcase and to prove that you care and that you care about the product, that you fully understand the customer base, you have a long life ahead with your agency. But if you don't, you're just another agency and it's another client. So,
well, I love it, and thank you for being vocal about that, and continue to be, because this industry from the agency side needs to grow up in those ways. So I do appreciate that. Totally agree with you. Man, I wish we could do this for 2 more hours. I have like 10 more questions. But maybe we'll do a follow-up. Steven, this is awesome. It's very clear that you're playing this game well and in a unique way. And I hope it inspires a lot of marketing leaders listening to make that information available, to create the North Star in terms of what matters, what are we trying to fulfill as a team from a business objective standpoint. And then you're an expert, so do your expert thing with use of this and this freedom. I think that's how meaningful brands exist and how
Mhm.
sustainably is in that. So you're playing the game well, at least from my perspective. And thank you for sharing your thoughts and perspective on this.
Yeah, no, it's a real pleasure. I really thank you for the invitation. I was super excited to be here to share my expertise. Um, I feel like representing a brand like Topo is a huge responsibility because the founders, two friends who built that years ago, and now here we are with this multi-million dollar business, being able to help and be part of this culture. It's a huge accomplishment for me, and I'm so happy that I'm part of this club now. And looking back at all my friends who are in agencies, of course, I still love the sprints that I do here in spring or in fall. I still love the chase of building, long customer journeys and seeing my funnel continue to grow. But being able to be part of this group and of this family, and of seeing all those customers on social media, on different aspects, understanding who we are and what we stand for, and that most importantly, that the quality of our product is still here and still as relevant as it was back when they first started it. It's a huge accomplishment. So I look forward to continue my journey at Topo, and of course, for any marketer and for any agencies that is looking to continue to grow, I can't wait to listen to more episodes of your podcast and hear what they have to say. I feel like we have so much to share, and the industry is changing on a daily basis, and there is always something new that comes our way, and that we have to adapt and adopt new ways of working. But it's such a fascinating ride, and I can't wait to see the rest of it.
That's awesome. Thank you. My guest, Steven Cohen, appreciate it. Great to have you here.
Thank you.